This Mustache on Music, and for the third year in a row.
Third year in a row, this is amazing.
This is Paul Federici.
It's funny because I knew I was gonna play, and I was looking to see if you were gonna be around, and I didn't think it was gonna happen, and just fate. The music gods were like, we have to do this. This is a hat trick. This is unprecedented in the history of Mustache on Music.
Actually, that's true. 3 years in my existence.
3 years.
This is the first.
This is a triple header, if you will. It's a hat trick.
Yeah.
In the Canadian lingo.
If I had a hat, I'd throw it.
Just throw it.
So it was a good set. I especially enjoyed your self-deprecating humor.
Well, it's funny. That's like I've always been like that.
Yeah.
And I have people after shows that are like, dude, you got to stop with the self-deprecating thing, and they're like, you know. But I'm just like, that's me though. I'm not. It's not an act. It's just that's the way I think. So I just do that thing because my songs are like sort of serious, introspective. So I think the humor kind of helps make it a little bit less like, hey, we're gonna go kill ourselves now. At least for a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, I especially like the intro. Is like, I hope you like this. And if you think it's shit, well, I guess.
Well, look, I mean, you just never know how people are gonna like it, and I don't know. I think it kind of gets people's like guard down a little bit.
Yeah.
People feel a little more like at ease with the set, and that's just me. I don't know. I've always been like that. I'm like my dad. We're just like, whatever, you know. So.
Right. A lot of your music and even the stories behind it that come through is a lot about mental health and just issues that everybody faces. Do you think, like, is that just how you cope with your own demons or your own things, or?
Yeah, well, in a lot of ways I think so. Like I've always struggled with like, you know, OC, like obsessive compulsive anxiety, depression, and music was always just something that kind of made sense to me, and even if I wasn't necessarily playing a song, just playing the guitar was always very soothing. So like I kind of said there, when I really crashed a few years ago and I was super depressed, and like I hadn't played in years, and as soon as I really bottomed out, the guitar kind of came back into my life, and it really helped me, and if it weren't for that, I don't think I'd be where I am now. So yeah, it's therapeutic for me, and I just try to be really honest with my songwriting, so yeah.
Do you think that there should be more awareness when it comes to sort of mental health like that? Because you have all these different causes and stuff, like Movember for like me, like growing a mustache, that brings awareness to like men's health.
Yep.
And like what men have to do, and then women have like breast cancer and all these other things. There's not really a focus.
Yeah.
That brings like mental health. It's sort of in the background.
Yeah.
That there's not really a big spotlight on it.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with that people are a little bit hesitant to talk about it, because I think it wasn't long ago, and still like people look at it as like a weakness or it's embarrassing and that sort of thing, and I think it's getting better. I mean, I opened up because I've met people that have talked about it, but yeah, I think as time goes on, like people are becoming more open about it, and I think people are realizing like how many people struggle with it, you know, especially like.
You think it's harder because it's not something physically there, that you can't just see it, you can't really deal with it. It's just something that just doesn't, it exists, but it's all invisible.
100%. I think 100%, because we're all so like, especially the medical system's good at like, oh, this is injured, or we'll fix it, and mental health, you can't see it, and so people sometimes don't really appreciate how intense certain things are, because even me, like even when at my worst, I still like, I joke a lot with people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that like I'm not struggling, you know, and so you can't always see it, and I think that's people are starting to recognize that more and more, but that's a great point, is that, you know, it's something that people don't see, so they don't relate or don't feel like it's there as much, you know, so yeah.
Well, you're lucky because I didn't bring my razor along. You still have this hideous fucking beard on your face.
It is pretty bad. I'm trying to connect it with the chest hair is what the goal is, so maybe next year.
Well, we'll go.
This is it. You're like, I'm done with this Federici guy.
Three's enough.
Three's enough. So.
What's have you changed your favorite mustache? If you could have a mustache, or is it still the?
I said Lanny McDonald. I think was a classic. I still have to go with that, I think. I like the mustaches that when you eat something, food gets stuck in it. That's a real manly mustache. Yours is getting there, I think.
I had an incident.
I had a mustache-related incident.
Where I would like cut this side, and then it was too short, so I cut this side.
I've been there.
Finally, I was just like, oh, done. I was just fed up. I was just like, this Must well be a female. Just
That is an incident.
Yeah.
That's more. That's a.
it's just frustrating when it happened.
But it's back.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Is you
We're
can always grow it back.
Looks like a big thick caterpillar.
It does.
going
It's
there now.
really. It doesn't even look real at this point. That's how great it is. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. This is the interview I look forward to most. It's also the only interview I have. So no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I had at least one.
There we go. People look forward to my interviews, I guess. I'm gonna put that like somewhere, a quote. This best interview ever. Yeah.
Ever. And then just like ... but don't put the rest of it. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, well, thank you. This was Mustache on Music. I'm Paul Federici.